heaven. There are 2.1 billion Christians in the world, but only a small percentage of them truly understand his teachings, and even fewer live according to them. The vast majority are what we call Sunday Christians or verbal Christians, not real ones. Let us illustrate with the example of marrying and starting families. Jesus told us not to marry and start families. Why? On what basis? First of all, we need to know that in his time, he could not tell people directly not to do that. Otherwise, he could not preach to them, so he managed to speak in parables not to be understood directly. He said, "The knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them." At the same time, he also said not to give that which is holy to the dogs, or put your jewels before pigs. That is to say, the core contents would not be told directly. However, as long as we have a deep understanding of his words, we can comprehend their meanings. The book of Matthew tells us what Jesus wants us to know about marrying and starting families. Matthew 10 verse 35. Jesus said, "I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I have come to turn men against their fathers, daughters against their mothers, and daughters-in-law against their mothers-in-law. People's foes shall be from within their own households. Anyone who loves their father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and anyone who loves their son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me." Matthew 12 verse 50. Jesus said, "For whoever does the pleasure of my Father in heaven, they are my brother and sister and mother." Matthew 19:9, 19:11. Jesus said, "I tell you that any man who divorces his wife except for marital unfaithfulness and marries another woman commits adultery." The disciples asked, "If this is the situation between husbands and wives, then is it best not to marry?" And Jesus said, "Not everyone can accept this word, but only those to whom it has been given. The ones who can accept this should accept it." Here, Jesus came very close to explaining that clearly. The disciples asked, "Best not to marry?" And Jesus encouraged the unmarried lifestyle. Not everyone can accept this word, but only those to whom it has been given. What was this word? It was not to marry. Therefore, not to marry is something that has been given. Only those to whom it has been given could understand the meaning of not to marry, but others could neither understand nor accept it. Matthew 19 verse 29. Therefore, Jesus Christ stressed further, "And everyone who has given up houses, or brothers, or sisters, or father, or mother, or child, or land for my name will be given 100 times as much and have eternal life." Life Genuine advocates that people not marry, break up nuclear families, and hope that married couples will become Chanyuan celestials together so they can end their marriage bonds as implemented in accordance with the teachings of Jesus Christ. The profound meaning of not to marry and start a family is for letting people enter the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 22 verse 30. Jesus told us clearly, "For when they come back from the dead, there will be no husbands or wives, but they will be as the angels in heaven." This further indicates that those who enter into the kingdom of heaven have not married, and that those who have married cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. Why? Can those who marry? The answer is, no, they cannot, and the reasons can be found in Life Genuine, Chanyuan Corpus, and Siefeng Corpus. That is it. I have given a further explanation, but whether you can understand it or not is up to your own considering and judging. Therefore, what Siefeng says does not go against the teachings of Jesus Christ, but carries out Jesus' teachings faithfully. Christians all over the world, do you understand? Do you deserve to be Christians when you are obsessed with marrying and loving your families? Do not shout, "Lord, Lord." Jesus will not hear you.
进入新时代需要转换的意识。
The new consciousness for the new era. Siefeng. Those who wish to be a part of the new era of Life Genuine must realize and accept these 18 requirements. Abandon atheism and the theory of evolution and accept the reality of the greatest creator and follow the way of the greatest creator. Abandon the concepts of ego, family, religion, political party, and state, and form the consciousness of global citizens. Shift from the belief that reality creates consciousness to the belief that consciousness creates reality. Repudiate the God of the Old Testament of the Bible and establish the new idea of the greatest creator. Negate the view of fortuity and establish the view of inevitability. Shift from the view of disorder to that of causality. Accept the existence of different levels of life besides that which we see on the earth. Accept that life consists of a material entity and a spiritual one. Accept that death is not the end of life, but only the beginning of a new journey of life. Accept the reality of the existence of heaven and hell. Understand that there is no ultimate judgment, but that judgment is ongoing and universal. Understand that our futures are determined by us and shaped by our own hands. Understand that whether one has a good future or a bad one depends on whether their non-material structure is perfect or deficient. Abandon personal heroism and elite consciousness and lower oneself to the humblest of position. Understand that what one reaps, so shall they sow, and that we need to contribute more but ask for less in return to accumulate our merits and virtues and to sublimate our quality of life. Understand that only by embracing sincerity, kindness, and virtue can we perfect our own structures of life, completely abandon attack and revenge attitudes, and treat everything kindly. Master the principle of the Mobius net, unify opposites, and give up one's criticisms of the world. Understand that life has an infinite future, and only those who pursue the highest realm of life can have the most splendid future. It is only in this way that we can enter the new era.
国家必将消失，国家正在消亡。
States are bound to disappear, and they are doing so. Xiefeng. February 9th, 2018. Translated by Treasure and edited by Care. As Zhejiang predicted in his Divination Before Saddled Horses, the talented will be put to good use, and the whole world will be one family, is the general trend of human social development as marriages and families, states, political parties, and religions are becoming decadent. This is a law of the evolution of society that cannot be stopped. Today, artificial intelligence is growing, a black swan which is flying high. The world is rapidly moving toward a new pattern. All the efforts to maintain those marriages and families, states, political parties, and religions are not only fatuous, but even futile. In 2002, I predicted that marriages and families would disappear, that marriages and families, just like foot binding for girls which was popular in the Southern Song dynasty, would be regarded as symbols of backwardness and fatuity. Today, the rise of the global divorce rate and the rapid increase in the percentage of single people prove that my prediction is becoming a reality. Looking back upon marriages and families from 20 or 30 years hence, people will see them as ridiculous as foot bindings for girls. Marriages and families are the same as states. The present states are equivalent to primitive tribes. Those tribes have died out, and so will states. This must happen because the existence of states seriously restricts the development of the productive forces and the leap of human civilization. Even more horrible is that states are the chief criminal agents which cause military conflicts, overconsumption of resources, purging of human rights, and the destruction of the ecology. All states are actually jails which keep their people in perpetual bondage in their names. It is right to love one's hometown and one's motherland, but wrong to love their state. Places have emotional ties, but states are violent machines. The bankruptcy of states will be disastrous for those in power, but glad tidings and welfare for their nationals. Let us use China as an example to show this. At present, who would think that the extinction of what used to be states but are now provinces was not a good thing? It is precisely because of the extinction of those states that there is a unified China today. Is this not a good thing for the people? At least we do not need visas, nor to deal with customs agents to travel throughout China. How great! If China were again divided into Qi, Chu, Yin, Han, Zhao, Wei, Qin, even add Xixia, Dali, Inner Mongolia, Xinjiang, Tibet, and Manchuria, we would not be able to travel freely between those provinces. How do you feel? It would absolutely not be a good thing for the people. So we can imagine that if there were no states in the world today, and that if all states disappeared, the people would be able to flow freely throughout the world. What a great thing that would be for ordinary people. Therefore, all states are morally bankrupt, and they must all disappear. How can all states be bankrupt and disappear? Facebook has nearly 2 billion users. It has actually become a great invisible power. Mark Zuckerberg has a great plan to build a global community, actually a global government, and as more and more citizens of the Earth join Facebook, the existing states will gradually exist in name only. On February 7, 2018, the private American company, SpaceX, launched a super heavy-duty carrier rocket, Falcon Heavy, far beyond all the satellites in orbit. Their power to launch rockets far exceeds those of Russia, the United States, and China. This shows that if thousands of private enterprises like SpaceX were to appear, then these private enterprises could completely solve all the problems of the world and the existence of the state would be totally unnecessary. In South Africa, Michael Tellinger launched the Ubuntu movement. As this movement becomes more and more popular and is implemented more widely, the existence of the state will become less and less necessary. Someone proposed that the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand should form a federal republic. Would that not be great? I believe that the vast majority of citizens within those 4 countries would cheer. The more quickly that such proposals come into being, the sooner that states will disappear. If the European Union, the African Union, and South America were to unify, then most states would exist in name only. There are thousands of spiritual, ecological consensus communities in the world and their numbers are growing. These communities have been created to solve the problems of food, clothing, shelter, transportation, birth, aging, illness, death, and life sublimation on their own, and none of them are willing to be controlled by any government. With the establishment and development of more and more communities, who will still need huge administrative expenses to bully people, who would want the government to control people and tell them when to urinate and when to defecate. In 2009, I predicted that great disasters around 2013 would not happen. Instead, there would be stepwise, reciprocating, and more serious natural climatic changes. The natural climatic changes over the past 9 years have proven my prediction to be accurate. In the prologue of the 3rd edition of 800 Values for New Era Human Being, I said, a new era for humanity will begin on New Year's Day of 2018, and it will last for a millennium. The first 30 years will be a time for soul purification and the elimination of outdated consciousnesses. A large-scale soul purification will be necessary for humanity. Those consciousnesses which are not suitable for the needs of the new era will be eliminated. The following 10 years will be a transitional period. The traditional production and life modes will be replaced by new models. After that, humanity will enter a harmonious era when all religions will unite as one. Favorable weather will prevail throughout the year, and everyone will enjoy happy, joyous, free, and blessed lives. This new era will last till the end of the year 3017-inch. In other words, from January 1st, 2018 through the succeeding 20 years, and especially through the first 10 years, unimaginable climatic changes will take place. Refugees from these changes will be countless, and the problems of dealing with the refugee crisis will become more and more difficult. From 2028 to 2038, people will have to compete for survival resources. Their struggles will be unrestrained, impossible to suppress, and extremely cruel. The first 10 years will produce continuous natural disasters, and the succeeding 10 years will be filled with many human misfortunes. This will calm down in 2048 because the population on the Earth will have become much smaller and a stateless world will have been born. Artificial intelligence is evolving in geometric progression. The AlphaGo robot has defeated human beings in many thought experiments. People will still be people after 10 years, but by that time, AlphaGo will have evolved into a super biological robot. Comparing those super biological robots' intelligence to that of today's biological robots would be like comparing human intelligence to that of primitive, four-legged mammals. Professor Kaplan of Stanford University has come up with these statistics. 47% of 720 jobs considered in the United States will be replaced by artificial intelligence. In China, this proportion may exceed 70%. 10 years later, when super biological robots begin to take over the world, states will undoubtedly be swept into history museums. Everything is advancing too rapidly in this era to predict what will happen next. Maybe black swans will fly as we wake up someday, and the world will have changed into something unimaginable, something that we are at a total loss for. By then, such things as states are bound to have vanished completely. In the face of the state, how does every citizen treat it? Do not work hard for your countries because all of those efforts will be in vain. Do not regard yourselves as American, Japanese, or Vietnamese anymore, but think of yourselves as citizens of the earth. Imagining that your state does not exist and consider how you will survive without it, now. Affairs of the family, the state, and the earth are inconsequential. What really matters is your survival. Do not waste precious time listening to the lies and constant haranguing emitted by your governments and their apologists. Governments are not reliable at all. They can never be relied upon. It is no better to rely on a government than to rely on pigs. It is more useful to raise pigs than to raise a government. Join Facebook, the Ubuntu movement, an ecological community, a super private enterprise, a civilized and powerful state, or any crowd that cannot be destroyed by super biological robots. Do not wait until tomorrow, do it today. Escape from unfair societies with scarce resources and dense populations where morals have degenerated as soon as possible. At all times, be vigilant and be alert. Be anchored against the wind, dig deep holes, accumulate grain extensively, and find your way out. Please say good words as much as you can. Hundun Celestial. December 11th, 2006. Translated by Tong Xin and edited by Kair. The ancient said, just as bitter medicine cures sickness, so unpalatable advice benefits conduct. This is half right. The other half should be, the favorable weather benefits the growth of grains, so good and sweet words benefit the affections. Life Genuine implements the latter half. Nobody is perfect and flawless. Life is short, so why aim at each other's flaws? Everyone has their unique advantages and shining characteristics, and everyone has their bright spots that are worthy of being appreciated. If we point to other people's flaws, those flaws will be enlarged. But if we appreciate other people's advantages, then their advantages will be enlarged. In order to make people happy and joyful, I advocate being blind to other people's flaws, but to appreciate their bright spots instead. If we continue doing so for a long time, everyone will become kind and merciful, will have glorious hearts, and will be grateful and reasonable. Therefore, in Life Genuine, please say good words as much as you can. As long as you do not mean to hurt people, you may say whatever you want. Humorous words, lively words, and wise words are all welcome, and as long as you can make others feel happy and pleasant, you will have earned merit. Life is not easy. So many troubles and worries torture people and steal their smiles. So why add frost on snow and make it worse when we get together? Without us, the earth would still rotate normally and other people would still live without any problems. So why should you make others unhappy? I oppose being picky and nibbling, and I oppose wrangling and arguing or teaching others wisdom I have gained, as if I am telling myself. I will not dare to do this in the future, and I will correct this whenever I can. In all situations, if we have reasons, we state them, but we do not suggest that other people are unreasonable. Life Genuine is the homeland for spirits and souls. To create a warm and harmonious atmosphere is our ideal and our expectation. The relationships among Chanyuan celestials are the relationships of brothers and sisters, and relatives and lovers. We care and love each other, encourage and appreciate each other. We need to grow with encouragement and praise, but not hurt with arguments and criticism. Dear guests, please understand that this is Life of Chanyuan. We will spread such style to every corner of the world and create the Life of Chanyuan era by following the principle of the favorable weather benefits the growth of grains, so good and sweet words benefit the affections. Therefore, if you are picky when you enter Life of Chanyuan and say this is not good or that is unsuitable, then you are surely not welcome here. The world is big, so please be merciful and allow us to cultivate our own small fields in our own way. Say good words as much as you can, and just keep those picky and critical words to yourself.
乾坤颠倒，仙女为尊，禅院新理念。
The reversal of heaven and earth, respect for women. New value of Chanyuan. Xiefeng. The heaven is superior and the earth is inferior. Man is superior and woman is inferior. This is what is preached in Confucian theories. Confucius is an ancient saint in China and traditional moral ethics. This concept is reversed in Life of Chanyuan. Namely, men are green leaves and women are flower petals. In heaven and on earth, women are superior. The reasons are as follows. The source is superior. The source of life is the greatest creator. In the universe, the greatest creator is supreme. Women are superior. The greatest creator has created life, which then propagate by itself, mainly through female. So women are superior. Mother is respectable. After 10 months of gestation, life comes from the mother. So mother should be respected and women should be superior. Sisters and daughters are all women. We should protect sisters and daughters, so women are superior. Women are not as strong as men and are vulnerable to harm, so for the equality and balance, women should be respected. The spirit of the valley never dies. It is called the mystic female. The door of the mystic female is the root of heaven and earth. Xianpin, mystic female, is the female reproductive organ, the root of heaven, which should be revered, so women are superior. Buddha is gender, gender is Buddha, the gate of gender is the gate of Buddhas, only women have the gate of gender. So when we respect Buddhas, we should also respect female. Women are soft and quiet, they love peace and gentleness, they are merciful and kind in nature, they are broad-minded and thus should be respected. In Life of Chanyuan, considerations should be given first to fairies. Fairies are lotus flowers and fairies are green leaves to protect the flowers. Men should not contend with women. Men should be brave to sacrifice for women. Point 3. Only women can sexually harass men. Men are not permitted to do so. For die in the face of danger, men should go forward to face the danger and place women behind for protection. 5. Women take precedence over men in the matter of enjoyment. 6. Men shall take initiative in doing heavy and dirty and tiring tasks, while light, skilled and clean work shall be reserved for women. 7. Men are not permitted to humiliate, desecrate, abuse, beat, maltreat, persecute, scorn, and deride women. 8. Men are not permitted to limit women's freedom of person, spirit, and soul in the name of love. This idea is debatable around the broad masses. Anyone who disagrees to it can put forward solid evidences and theories. Only a simple expression of complaint is not enough. January 10th, 2011.
人类遏制气候恶化的唯一途径。
The only way to restrain climate deterioration. Xiefeng. November 19th, 2018. Translated by Treasure and edited by Care. Can the Kyoto Protocol or the Paris Agreement restrain climatic deterioration? It is an unrealistic and completely impossible joke to think so. And those projects to restrain global warming from some countries are even less possible. The core factor in climatic degradation is not carbon emissions and the pollution of land, air, and water. Nor is it a matter of cattle and sheep digesting and producing methane gas, but rather, it is one of the human soul. Your state of consciousness determines your living environment, and the overall reality is a projection of humanity's consciousness. Without changes of human consciousness and the purification of people's souls, it will be absolutely impossible to reverse the deterioration of our climate and our environment. This is an issue that can be resolved very easily. So what data analyses, computer simulations, and dedicated researches are needed? Will it be necessary for the United Nations to organize international conferences and meetings to discuss and formulate programs repeatedly? Our environmental problem is one of people's souls, and the first thing necessary is to reverse and to purify them, but this cannot be accomplished by the UN or by any state or states, but only by everyone involving and purifying their own souls individually. This purification of human souls must be carried out from theoretical directions and with new orders of construction, both at the same time. As for theoretical guidance, I have offered a plan to prepare everyone, but they need to learn from me and abide by me. The order of construction is to replace the traditional production and life modes of society with a new one according to the model of the new oasis for life as created by Life Genuine. This is the only way to reverse the deterioration of our environment. Honestly, though, it is too late to take action even if society were to begin immediately. I have shouted and appealed for at least the last decade, but instead of listening, most have wrecked the theories and practical demonstrations of Life Genuine. What can be done now is not to restrain climatic and environmental degradation, but to save a small group of people as seeds for human continuation, or extinction will be our destiny. The crisis is here and now. If people still remain completely indifferent, then disasters such as the fires near Paradise Town in California, USA will recur frequently. Remember, no place in the world is safe. Where there are no fires, rivers might flood. Where there are no droughts, violent storms might blow. Where there are no earthquakes, volcanoes might erupt. And where there are no plagues, intensely hot summers or bitterly cold winters might become normal. This does not even address the eventualities of massive theft, murders, and wars. In short, there is no way to escape from these disasters. Those who want to live must follow my guidance. I am the messenger of the greatest creator, the incarnation of God, Buddha, celestials, sages, and saints, and the greatest spiritual guide of our time. Please do not hoard what you possess, but dedicate your wealth so that we can build our new mode of production and life on Earth as soon as possible. Do not be short-sighted and accuse me of wanting to accumulate wealth by taking yours. I want nothing from you, but you need to use your wealth to save yourself. I hope that the UN will cooperate with us. There are many places on Earth which are disputed between nations and tribes, but can be administered by them. So let us build new modes of production and life in these disputed places as soon as possible so that we can have kindling materials for the continuation of our species. It will not matter if people continue to turn deaf ears and use their small minds to deny my warnings and assumptions because they will learn the truth, but it will be too late by then. Have foresight and take action now. November 19th, 2018.
共产主义在这里已全面实现。
Communism has been fully realized here. Xiefeng. The pursuit of an ideal society has been an everlasting ideological subject for sages and saints of mankind. The establishment of an ideal society has always been a direction and goal aspired by great politicians. Mankind has never stopped its exploration and pursuit of an ideal society, from the ideal of great harmony practiced by China's sage Confucius, to the ideal of republic advocated by ancient Greek philosopher Plato, to utopia proposed by Thomas More of England, to utopian socialism of Saint Simon and Fourier, to communism founded by Marx in Germany. There have been various attempts to establish an ideal society, from New Harmony Village created in Indiana of America by Robert Owen of England, to collective farms launched by Stalin of Russia, to People's Commune established by Mao Zedong in China, to Mountain Shore Village in Japan, and to kibbutz in Israel. Actually, Kingdom of God, described by Jesus Christ in the Bible, the Elysium world mentioned by Buddha in Buddhist Sutra, the society of harmony portrayed by Lao Tzu and Tao Te Ching are all ideal societies. Now we can say that one common goal, namely the highest ideal of life mankind can achieve, has been described and pursued by great harmony, republic, utopia, ideal land, harmonious society, communism, the kingdom of God, and the Elysium world. The highest ideal society pursued by mankind must have the following 18 characteristics. Public ownership is the prevailing way under Tao. There is no private ownership, all properties are shared. There is no marriage, no family, no political party, no religion, no state, no organization of any form. There is no currency. The talented are put to good use, and the whole world will be one family. No one will pocket anything found on the road, and doors will not be bolted at night. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need. Recommend and assign the talented to important tasks, advocate good faith and harmony. The old are taken care of, the strong are put to good use, and the widowed, orphaned, sick and handicapped are well provided. All members have meals at public dining halls. Normally the work hours will be limited within 6 hours per day. Rich and plentiful material wealth without extravagance and waste. Extremely harmonious social relations and high spiritual realm. Rich and colorful cultural entertainment and games. Everyone develops freely in an all-round manner. Everyone brings his or her talent into full play. All things are put to good use. Everyone has a joyful, happy, free, and blessed life. Everyone is in the service of the others, and no one owes anyone anything. The environment is clean, tidy, elegant, and serene, like an earthly paradise. It can be said that the above 18 conditions have been basically realized in the life of the second home created by Life Genuine. In another word, communism has been fully implemented in the second home, or it may be said, the kingdom of the greatest creator has descended upon the earth. As the founder of communism Marx has said, without belief in God, the greatest creator, and without identity with Christ, mankind cannot possess truly perfect virtue to pursue truth and light. Only God, the greatest creator, can save us. The facts have proved this to be true. The complete realization of mankind's ideal society in the sea and home of Life Genuine is the very fruit of our reverence for the greatest creator and our observance of the way of the greatest creator. Of course, we have another secret. That is, we have imitated and copied the life and production model of the thousand-year world of the heavenly kingdom. Today, I hereby proclaim to the whole mankind, communism has been realized in the second home, and the kingdom of the greatest creator has descended upon the earth. August 24, 2011.
人类错失了一次良机。
Humanity has missed a great chance. Xiefeng. Translated by Treasure and edited by Care. If you have been keeping up with global climate change and the dynamics of our political state, you must feel that the crisis is getting worse and worse. Tomorrow or death. It is sometimes difficult to predict which will come first as you retire for the evening. On October 18th of this year, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, of the United Nations released a report in Incheon, South Korea, IPCC global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius, which says that global warming must not be allowed to exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius or mankind will succumb to an extremely pitiful doomsday by the year 2040. Can we keep global warming under 1.5 degrees Celsius? It is out of control, a dream. 2040 is only 22 years away. Attention, please. If the end comes in 22 years, then for many people, next year, or perhaps even tomorrow will be the end of their time, and they might not even see tomorrow's sunrise. This is not a bluff or prophecy from some historical prophets or the ravings of spirits and deities about fortunes and disasters, but the conclusion drawn by experts from more than 40 countries who have accumulated more than 6,000 pieces of data. In fact, I personally warned people clearly in early April 2009 that the so-called apocalypse of 2012 would not happen, but would be replaced in a gradual, reciprocating, and increasingly serious way. Almost a decade has passed, so let us find out how precisely the climate changes over the last decade have conformed to my predictions. In addition, at the end of 2017, I warned humanity once again that from 2018 on, the Earth would enter a new era and that dramatic changes would take place during the first 3 decades. You can look back at the climate changes of 2018. Can you sense the smell of the coming storm? From now on, the changes will get worse and worse until the extremely pitiful doomsday happens.